raising concerns about fallen trees and widespread power outages. This is why emergency management officials are so worried of this weekend's weather. For many city officials and maybe some of you at home, this threat feels like a deja vu. A similar ice storm in 2002 shut down areas in North Carolina for days, damaging homes, blocking roads, and cutting power to thousands.
For those of you that were here in 2002, that was, up until that time, the busiest day the Charlotte Fire Department has ever experienced.
Officials say that storm overwhelmed first responders and caused millions of dollars in damage. And while utilities say the power grid is stronger now, emergency managers warn ice remains one of the most destructive winter threats, and that is why News 13 has you covered before and after, during and after the storm. Well, thank you for waking up with News 13. Today is Saturday, January 24th. I'm Taylor Thompson.
And I'm meteorologist Julia Haley.
Well, Julia, let's just get right over to it. What do people need to know right now with this major ice storm on the way?
So big focus is that if you do have any last minute preparations, you can plan into this morning. The afternoon and evening is really where we start to see that chance for some ice to start to make its way into the area. So we have 3 weather warn days and a 4th one that is not as related, but still related to this event. This is a major ice storm for us, and ice is going to be the big impact. So make sure that you scan our QR code so you can download our News 13 weather app, because when the power goes out, it may be harder to watch TV. So what you can do is you can get those updates directly from us as we send them out. So delays and closures could be likely, and also power and travel issues as this ice forms. Right now, I'm starting to see some of that snowfall make its way into the mountains there around Andrews this morning. Temperatures are sitting in the 30s, and we have cloudy skies right now. Ice storm warning for everyone in the area, as we do have that chance for freezing rain to give us a glaze of ice throughout the next few days. Here's a closer look at our models. One of these is the Euro model. Just south of Asheville is where we start to get more of that destructive to crippling levels of ice that's above a half an inch. And also here's a look at the GFS, some of that as well. Same area, North Carolina, South Carolina state line, and northern upstate, also the foothills. So just make sure that you are getting those last minute preparations in, because once this ice is on the ground, it will be hard to travel, and it could cause some power outages throughout the region. So if you are trying to figure out when you are supposed to stay inside, I would say through tonight and into Monday morning, as we have that chance for icing to continue. Now I'll have a closer look at this ice and those watches and warnings all across the United States in a few minutes.
Thank you so much, Julia. Well, as the Carolinas brace for this winter storm in just a matter of a few hours, Duke Energy says it's bringing in an additional 18,000 crew members to help respond to power outages. Duke spokesperson Caroline Fountain says those crews are coming in from 27 states as well as Canada. She says the utility company will have an extra 100 trucks staged in the Asheville area alone. Duke will also relay damage assessors, tree trimmers, and what Fountain calls smart self-healing technology. Now that's used to help reroute power to customers when other lines in the area are down. The energy company is also guided in part by some of the lessons learned during Helene.
Following Helene, we were able to not only repair, but also upgrade a lot of the systems, substations, poles, and wires, making the grid even more resilient than it was before that storm.
Fountain also explained that just a quarter inch of ice is enough to bring tree limbs down onto power lines. Half an inch is when the ice starts impacting the lines themselves. The Great Smoky Mountains National Park is closing roads and facilities ahead of Saturday's winter storm. The park shut down several roads and facilities last night around 7, with closures remaining in effect today until staff can safely assess conditions. And officials say higher elevation roads are especially dangerous in winter weather, and they're urging visitors to avoid the park until conditions improve. The roads listed on your screen will be closed starting this morning at 10. And ART bus service will be suspended starting today at noon and remain down through Sunday. City officials say all 37 water storage tanks are being topped off and kept at full capacity during the storm. Several city facilities will also be closed, including all parks and recreation community centers and the Western North Carolina Nature Center. Officials say updates will be shared as conditions change. And News 13 is your source for winter weather updates. While special programming on WLOS will preempt our regular 6 p.m. newscast, you can still watch News 13 at 6 on My 40. We'll also stream the newscast live on the WLOS YouTube page. For the latest updates, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or visit WLOS.com. Well, rock salt might be the cheapest way to fight ice, but experts warn it's harsh on pets and the environment. We'll show you safer alternatives from kitty litter to beet juice, but still get the job done.
And right now is cloudy, but as we get into the later hours, we have colder conditions and also a chance for freezing rain. I'll let you know how that affects you coming up. Good morning to you. Winter storm warnings are just all over the United States, spanning over 2,000 miles as this major winter storm approaches. For us here at home, it's going to be an ice storm, which is why we currently have an ice storm warning in place for all areas within western North Carolina and the upstate. Taking a closer look, there's that low pressure that you see there, and right in front of it we do have the snow that's making its way eastward. Places like Houston right now getting some rain, but also some freezing rain and sleet. We're going to be seeing more of these icy conditions like Houston is currently seeing. And taking a closer look here at home, we currently have a case of cold air damming going on. That means that there's high pressure around the northeast. And as high pressure rotates counterclockwise, we get that cold air from the north. So our temperatures aren't going to rise too much today. Currently, we have cloudy skies and some snowfall starting to make its way into the region. Clouds persist, and as you see there, temperatures sitting in the 20s and 30s, around and close to freezing. Afternoon temperatures not going to increase too much. That kind of helps some of this ice form throughout the day today. In Asheville, high temperature, only 32 degrees. Make sure to bundle up. We're talking about this ice that is on the way and how you can stay safe coming up.
Thank you so much, Julia. We'll visit with you again in just a little while. Rock salt is the cheapest and most commonly used product put on your sidewalk ahead of a big snowstorm, but experts say it's not great for the environment or your pets. For natural traction, you can use things like sand or gravel, kitty litter, lawn fertilizer, wood ash, or coffee grounds. To actually melt the ice, you can use things like magnesium chloride, calcium magnesium acetate, potassium chloride, urea, or beet juice. All these options are safer for your pets and plants than standard rock salt. And several schools and universities across the region are changing schedules ahead of this weekend's winter weather. Western Carolina University has suspended classes Monday at the Cullowhee campus and the Biltmore instructional site. University operations will be under suspended operations through Monday night. Transylvania County schools will move to virtual learning Monday and Tuesday. Greenville County schools will hold an e-learning day Monday with all activities canceled through Monday. Officials say schedules will be reassessed as conditions improve. Snow, sleet, freezing rain, they may look alike, but one of them can turn your street into a sheet of ice. We'll break down the difference and what it means for your safety. And temperatures are dropping and plumbers are already swamped. Later, how to avoid frozen pipes before they wreck your home and your wallet. From the south to the plains to the Midwest to the Northeast, officials say they're preparing for the historic winter storm, and residents need to prepare too.
We have about 70,000 tons of salt ready to go, and our 275 plows with more equipment on standby.
I urge everyone listening and watching to begin to plan ahead.
The widespread storm is expected to blast the U.S. with hazardous ice and heavy snow. Meteorologists are warning of dangerous travel for days. Power outages and tree damage could impact 2/3 of the nation's population, along with stocking up on essentials, protecting pipes, and charging electronics. Officials say the most important thing Americans can do is hunker down.
This is a time where we want to make sure that city workers have every ability they can to deliver on their job. And what makes it easier for them to do their job is the more New Yorkers that stay home.
Unless you have to travel, stay off the roads.
Wind chills as low as minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit are already moving into Chicago and other cities in the Midwest. The storm will first dump freezing rain in the south and then dump snow on the Northeast later in the weekend. And snow, sleet, and freezing rain can all look similar, but they affect travel very differently. Snow falls and stays snow, reducing visibility. Sleet melts and refreezes before it hits the ground, creating slippery roads. But freezing rain, that is the most dangerous. It freezes on contact, coating roads, trees, and power lines in ice, making travel nearly impossible and increasing outage risk.
Good morning to you. We will have significant icing on the way throughout the next few days. That could lead to power and travel issues and also delays and closures throughout the area. So make sure to download our Skywatch weather app so even if the power goes out in your area, you can get the latest updates from us here at our News 13 weather team. Now we have an ice storm warning in place. That's for everywhere within our region, whether you're in North Carolina or the upstate, as we get freezing rain and sleet could lead to a glaze of ice on the ground, making some areas and roads impassable. We start with a chance for some snowfall, but it's not going to last very long throughout this morning. Into the afternoon and evening, that's where we see a round of sleet start to form. Right there in purple, that's that sleet around Waynesville and also Brevard and Asheville. Into Saturday night, right there, you can see that chance for freezing rain to start to creep up throughout the area, and some areas could have temperatures that are above freezing, so you'll see just rain and miss out on some of this icy precipitation. But for a majority of our region, especially where those temperatures are lower, you have a chance to experience this ice overnight. So you're going to want to make sure you're prepared, especially as we gear up into Sunday. Sunday around the morning, still a chance for some more of this freezing rain on the way, and then more of that rainfall starts to take over as temperatures rise into the later hours of Sunday. So for this storm, make sure that you are ready to go and prepared with your cold weather gear by Saturday afternoon. We're going to get this sleet turning into freezing rain, and of course could lead to those travel impacts. Freezing rain is the main thing that I'm looking at because it causes a glaze of ice on the ground. Here's a look at your ice potential for our southwestern region. Chance for some of these areas, especially around Highlands and Cashers, to be above a ½ inch. And same for our central region as well. You see some more of those destructive impacts that are possible. Into our northeastern region, some more of those destructive impacts as well. Morganton around 0.38 and Forest City just above a ½ inch. For our upstate, northern upstate is going to see majority of this ice. In southern upstate, just a little bit less. But let's take a look at that ice accretion. When we say limited, chance for some isolated power outages, but as we head toward a ½ inch or more, that's where you get these crippling conditions. Major tree damage and even a ½ inch in ice can add 500 pounds to a power line. That's as much as a North Carolina black bear that's getting ready to hibernate for winter. Here are your feels like temperatures after our next few days. We get those wind chills in single digits, and into the next few days, Tuesday, we get negative wind chills on the way. So some of you may have power still out out throughout your area. And with these cold wind chills, you're going to want to make sure that you bundle up. So an additional weather warned day into Tuesday, especially as these temperatures drop into single digits. Bundle up, stay warm, and stay safe.
Thank you so much, Julia. And with those temperatures set to plunge, plumbers are bracing for a surge in calls and homeowners could be paying the price. One local plumbing company says demand is already spiking as professionals race to prevent frozen and busted pipes that can cause serious and costly damage.
Business is booming at Port City Plumbing Supply, and they're busier than ever this week. Take these little pipe connectors. Normally, a plumber might grab a few all year. This week, they're walking out with dozens.
1-inch PVC, Schedule 40.
Chick Coleman and Haley Rogers say there's one reason. Professionals are gearing up to save customers' pipes as temps are expected to tumble soon.
Water's the only thing in nature that expands when it freezes. Everything else gets smaller. But water, for some reason, expands, causes a lot of damage, a lot of heartache.
And when that water expands inside your pipes, the damage can be devastating.
We've had $100,000 worth of damage done from water running in a house.
CFPUA spokesperson Cami Bellamy explains the sub-freezing temps are prime for busted pipes and budgets.
The real issue rises when the temperature gets down below freezing for several hours, especially into the 20s.
So what can you do? Bellamy says start with the basics. Drip your faucets overnight to keep that water moving.
We strongly recommend taking those preventative measures now, checking on any of your outdoor pipes, draining your irrigation system, things like that.
Back at Port City Plumbing, Rogers and Coleman say insulation around your pipes is also key. But use something like foam or rubber and shy away from newspaper or towels because they can get wet. And you guessed it, freeze.
Nobody wants damages, number one. Nobody wants to be without something as critical to our survival as water. And it's so easy to prevent.
Because if you don't take action now, you could not only be left without water, but facing a hefty plumbing bill and dealing with a massive headache.
Hendersonville's mayor has declared a state of emergency ahead of the winter storm that will bring dangerous ice and power outages. The declaration takes effect this morning at 8 and includes a citywide curfew aimed at keeping people off of unsafe roads. As forecasters warn up to an inch of ice, freezing rain, and sleet, a curfew will begin tonight at 8 p.m. and last until dawn Sunday. Starting on Sunday, the curfew will run from dusk until dawn each night until the emergency ends. Officials urge residents to stay home, avoid travel, and review the full emergency order for curfew exemptions. And the deadline to avoid another government shutdown is January 31st, which is just less than a week away. Congress is racing to keep the lights on. The House took a big step on Thursday after passing a bill funding the Department of Homeland Security. Most of the necessary appropriations bills have passed, but some Democrats want the Senate to block the DHS bill, urging senators to make changes reining in ICE. Republicans expect things to go smoothly.
If I were a member of the United States Senate, I would not vote for funding this ICE. I would not vote for funding ICE. That's what I would do.
Homeland was tight because, the Democrats want to defund ICE and DHS. But, I think it's going to go over to the Senate. I think that there will be enough votes over there to get it through. I don't think they have the appetite.
The DHS bill has become a major issue, especially after multiple clashes between ICE and protesters in Minnesota. Well, travelers are bracing for flight delays and cancellations as the winter storm arrives in the Carolinas. A look at the Pitt Greenville Airport after the break. As a major winter storm heads towards the states, travelers are bracing for flight delays and cancellations. At Pitt Greenville Airport, crews are already gearing up, running winter operations and prepping runways to keep flights moving and passengers safe.
As travelers prepare to hit the skies this weekend, the major winter storm making its way towards eastern Carolina is threatening to bring delays and cancellations.
Keep an eye on the flights and just pack some patience.
Looking to keep operations running smoothly, the Pitt Greenville Airport is gearing up ahead of the storm. Prep work began back in October with winter operations meetings to discuss the many obstacles winter weather could bring.
Winter storms are pretty much like an aircraft emergency. I mean, it's all hands on deck. It's, you're doing everything you can to try to keep the airport open and, most important, keep it safe.
I was able to get an inside look at the airport's winter equipment, from snow plows and brooms that attach to trucks to spreaders filled with a mixture known as New Deal that eliminates any ice on the runway.
We'll just keep applying and sweeping. That's pretty much what we got to do here.
Another important part of winter prep, the snow desk. It's where crews can track the flights coming in and out along with the weather, keeping everyone informed.
We'll keep in touch with the snow desk when we're out there doing our brooms, plowing, just to let them know what the conditions are.
Even with some travelers beating the wintry weather.
Yeah, no, we're going to Miami. It's my birthday, so I'm excited to be in the warm weather.
Flying out at just the right time.
Oh, it was perfect timing. We had no idea we'd